have your state senator for Senate District 4. My great pleasure to introduce the Honorable Don Gaetz.
Thank you very much, Paul, and thanks, Henry, and the leaders of the Fort Walton Beach Tea Party for putting this event together tonight. I wish that everybody in Okaloosa County could come here tonight, could listen to both sides of these issues and make informed decisions. I was listening to TV the other night, and there was a commentator, one of those talking heads from Washington, that said, you know, the Tea Party is not effective. It's just a debating society. It's not effective. You need to know that the reason why Amendment 1, ending welfare for politicians, is on the ballot is because that idea was introduced at a Fort Walton Beach Tea Party meeting at the fairgrounds, Henry, about a year and a half ago. And because it got so much currency and so much support, I took it to Tallahassee, and Senator Herodopoulos and I sponsored it. So you're effective. I do have to make an observation about the format tonight. I noticed that Representative Gaetz got a chance to talk about 2 amendments. Just like me. He got twice as much time as I was allotted. And he was able to debate himself. And I have to debate a really nice person, Mary Blackwell. But I guess I have to get used to this kind of treatment. In Tallahassee, I used to be known as the senator for Northwest Florida. Now I'm known as Matt Gaetz' dad. Fair districts. Fair districts. Sounds good, and Ms. Blackwell makes it sound good. She did an excellent job of presenting what is an impractical and expensive and unfortunate set of amendments. Why is it impractical? Why are amendments 5 and 6 impractical? Look at the clear, plain language of the amendment that she read to you. No line can be drawn which either favors or disfavors any incumbent or any political party. Well, I would suggest that you may want to take out a map of the state of Florida and see if you can draw one single line that neither favors nor disfavors an incumbent or a political party. I live in Niceville, and I represent parts of 5 counties. If the lines are drawn to give me more of Okaloosa County, where I've run 4 times countywide and been elected 4 times, that would favor me. And therefore it'd be unconstitutional. If the lines were drawn to decrease the amount of Escambia County, where I represent, where I have less name recognition, that would disfavor me. And that would be unconstitutional, so we can't do that. So anytime you move a line affecting any group of voters at all, you favor or disfavor somebody, some political party or some incumbent. So why in the world would language like that be included in a constitutional amendment? It was by design. Ms. Blackwell says we need to take politics out of redistricting, and we need to have rules. The interesting question that I will pose to you tonight is, for whose benefit are these rules being made, and who would be making the rules? Because this truly will, as Ms. Blackwell said, lead to litigation. She's right. Whenever there's redistricting, there is an automatic review by the courts. If amendments 5 and 6 don't pass, there will be an automatic review by the courts. There are already standards, federal voting rights standards and standards in the Florida Constitution. But imagine now, if amendments 5 and 6 pass, there will be the reason why even the amendment proponents can't tell you how much this will cost and suggest that there will be more litigation is because there will. Now everybody will have standing to sue, whether you are favored or disfavored by any line that's drawn either way. Any incumbent or any political party will have the opportunity to go to the courthouse and file a lawsuit and snarl up the whole process of redistricting for our congressional lines or our legislative lines in the court system. And you know who pays for the court system? We do. So if you want to pay more money for more litigation, with more people, more politicians, having more standing to file more lawsuits, then you need to vote for 5 and 6. If you believe we have enough politicians going to the courthouse enough, sucking down your tax dollars for enough lawsuits, then you probably need to vote against 5 and 6. Now, who are these people who bring you this interesting set of ideas, Amendments 5 and 6. I've learned over the course of life to try to consider the source. 91% of the funding for 5 and 6, for the yes vote on 5 and 6, are being provided by government labor unions, by ACORN, by the ACLU, by George Soros, and typical liberal high-dollar donors from outside of the state of Florida. Now, why would they do that? Why would all of those people who, by the way, supported President Obama and whose policies have brought this country virtually to its knees, why would they be in favor of Amendments 5 and 6? Why would they put $7.1 million into the vote yes in 5 and 6 campaign? It must be because they're just in favor of fairness. They just like fairness. Well, no, it's not. It's because they can't win at the ballot box, so they want to win at the courthouse. And that's wrong. And that's wrong. Now, there are 26 Republicans out of a 40-member Senate in the state of Florida right now. But Barack Obama won 20 of those 40 Senate districts in 2008 when he ran for president. But Republicans won 6 Senate districts that Obama won, and that's not because the lines were drawn funny, because Barack Obama won the districts, and so by their definition, the lines must have been drawn just fine. It's because Republicans in those cases had better candidates, had better campaigns, and had better messages, and were more conservative, and were able to take their message to the voters, knock on the doors, and convince people to vote for them. And that's choice, and that's competition, and we already have it in our voting system. I will tell you as well that when you ask the question, who makes the rules? If you want our liberal courts to make the rules, and that's what will happen if there are endless lawsuits, and there will be endless litigation as a result of these 2 amendments, then the whole thing will be thrown to the courts, to the Supreme Court of Florida. You remember the Supreme Court of Florida. They're the ones who denied you the opportunity to vote on saying no to Obamacare in the state of Florida. These are the very same people that the proponents of Amendments 5 and 6 want to have control the drawing of lines for congressional and for legislative districts. I live in Niceville, but my congressman lives in Quincy, and that doesn't make any sense. And so we really need to do something about making sure that our lines are drawn more logically. But I'll tell you this, the fact that I'm in Alan Boyd's district means that I'm going to be able to vote against Alan Boyd, and we're going to get him out of office. So that's the good part. That's the good part. If we move the lines so that Vicki and I can't vote against Alan Boyd, it'll disfavor an incumbent. And that would be unconstitutional under the proposal you were being asked to support. And I think that's wrong. So, because it's impractical, because it will cause litigation that will throw redistricting into the hands of liberal judges, and we know what they've already done in denying us a chance to vote on Obamacare and maintaining our U.S. constitutional rights to say no to a forced Obamacare, and because we look at who's behind this and we see it's the usual suspects. It's the government labor unions, it's George Soros, it's ACORN. This wasn't a citizen initiative. ACORN collected these petitions. And when we in the Senate Reapportionment Committee asked the proponents of 5 and 6 to come before us and show us how any of these lines could be drawn without throwing this into the courts, we asked them to come 5 times, to do it in public, to do it in front of the people of Florida, and 5 times they refused to show up because the agenda, not of Ms. Blackwell, she sincerely supports what she sincerely supports, but the agenda of the people who are funding this is to win in the courts, but they can't ever win in the voting booths of Florida. Vote against 5 and 6. Thank you very
much. Okay, so that is the no side for Amendment 5 and 6. So now, again, it's time for you to mark your sample and your straw ballots before we